Tomers.
It's me, Brendan.
And it's me, Bridget.
And it's Tome Time.
Tome time.
Yeah. I like that. The new way is fun.
It's
I like
way
the new
more
way. It's not as hard.
No. I am stuffy today.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not. What are we doing?
We're going to review a book that we both read. This one right here.
Stoner.
By John Williams.
Yeah.
I rated this 4.5.
And I rated it 4.75.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the closest start. Well, I guess we've rated the same book 5 stars once.
Yeah. But this is really close for us.
Yeah.
Shit bangs.
It was really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I was, I went into this book totally blind, as in when you said you should read this book, and I said, what is it about? You said, it's about a guy.
Yeah.
So that was
Which
all
is 100% accurate.
Yes, it's true. I'm just saying, I had no other knowledge about anything about this book, not even like when it was written or anything.
Yeah. I mean, all I knew about it was that it's about a guy who goes to college and is sad.
And is sad.
And like that's it.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
But I liked kind of going in blind.
Yeah.
I don't always love that, but I think I think maybe if I would have if someone would have given me the summary, I would have been like,
boring.
I don't think I want to read that.
Yeah. So okay, well, before I ask you that question that I was going to ask you, should we do I'll just read this.
A little synopsis.
I guess, yeah. William Stoner is born at the end of the 19th century into a dirt-poor Missouri farming family. Sent to the State University to study agriculture. I don't know. I'm trying to summarize, I guess. He instead falls in love with English literature and embraces a scholar's life. That's all I'm going to read.
That's a good synopsis. Yeah. It's about the life of a man named Stoner.
So the premise sounds a little boring.
Correct.
So what made this book work for you?
Well, first of all, I think the way that it was written was beautiful and kept you really like engaged with the story. And I think that this book did a really good job of just like showing how beautiful it is to just be human, just be a normal human being and what that human experience looks like. And it wasn't like fast paced or compelling in the way that a fantasy book is, but it was engaging because of the way that the author writes about the characters. You just feel feelings for them, and not all positive feelings. Like you very much like just get into his world and his life and get kind of sucked into, I don't know,
Mr. Stoner.
Professor
Stoner.
Him.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The prose is like, it keeps it very simple, but also beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it's just like a very like real book.
Yeah.
And yeah, the characters definitely evoke strong emotions.
Very strong.
One way or another.
Yeah, very strong.
Yeah.
And I think especially one character in particular for me, I had a hard time like feeling one set way.
Interesting.
And I think it's mostly because of like my own biases around how women are written about in books like this in general. But it just, I don't know, this book in particular gave me a lot to wrestle with, I think, and like why these characters are behaving this way and what might be their reasoning for behaving this way. And it was, I don't know, I think I had to really like ponder when I finished this book. Like I closed it and was like, whoa.
You're like, what? Yeah, I feel like this is a nonfiction or a fiction book that like William Stoner could be a guy, like a real guy. Like it feels like it could be a biography or whatever.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
Do you want to do some spoiling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't fuck with Edith.
See, that's the one I have a hard time with.
I know.
I think it's really fair to not like her as a character. I think there are a couple of spots in the book, if I remember well, where they allude to some kind of essay from her father. I
don't remember that.
They never outright say it, obviously, because of when this book was written.
Yeah.
But there is some of that going on.
Yeah.
Which I think would also play into the relationship between Edith and Stoner.
Yeah.
In a big way, especially if it was like she never spoke to anyone about it. It was completely unresolved.
Sure.
But I also genuinely think she's like heavily bipolar.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, very mentally unwell.
I just feel like a lot of the, like, I don't feel like Stoner did anything to deserve being treated the way he was treated. And I understand like having trauma or a mental illness, but that doesn't mean that you get to like ruin someone's life about it.
Yeah, I
like
totally
it was
agree.
just frustrating. I was like, just get a divorce.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this to yourselves?
Yeah.
Is like what I was most frustrated with. Like, and I think that Stoner could have, like, obviously, like, he cheated on her.
Yeah.
Like, there's things he could have done better, but I just feel like a lot of it was like he was just getting bullied.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree. I don't say that in any way to excuse her actions.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time outright seeing her as a villain.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
I don't know if there is really a villain in it, because it's a very, like, they're just people.
People living.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And I had similar, like, back and forth feelings about I'm not gonna remember the name of the student.
The crippled student?
Yes. What's his name?
I don't remember.
Shoot.
I bet I can find it really fast in this really short book.
But I feel like I went back and forth on him a lot too.
He's Professor Lomax's little guy.
Yeah.
I know that. Keep talking. I'm gonna look for it.
Just in that, like, he was the worst, but also on occasion you had to be like, man.
I don't know. Like, I never, like, I don't feel like I'm smart enough to like, I understand that Stoner was like, oh, he's just like lying, like he just made up this like dissertation or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when he was asking the questions, like I felt like I wasn't smart enough to like understand. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know, I feel like I just trust Stoner in the story. I'm like, yeah, if he says he's lying, he probably is. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
fair. I thought that was just in general a very interesting
yeah. And like it was frustrating that Lomax tried to make it like, oh, you're like picking on him because he's crippled.
Yes.
And so I was like, no, I'm not. He doesn't deserve to do a PhD student. Like, he's not smart enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was weird.
Yeah. It's one of the many parts that sticks out in my brain.
Yeah, and then obviously like his affair with Catherine.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with infidelity.
Ever. Me either.
Ever. But I was so happy for him, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
It was hard for me to like feel happy about it for a while.
Yeah.
Because that's a hard one for me to read about in general. But by the end of, by the time they decided to like turn ways, what's the phrase?
Part ways. Yeah.
Struggle. I really liked them together, and I think the fact that Edith knew about it anyway was just kind of like, I don't know, like made it almost as if like it didn't matter.
Yeah, it felt good that he was finally like getting to experience and like show people love, where it's like every relationship you see with him up to this point, it's like he just doesn't have that.
Yeah. That's super fair.
Like, he thought he loved Edith, obviously, and then they got married, and it turned out to not be what he thought.
Terrible.
Yeah, and then it was
and then
nice.
Got shut out of his daughter's life.
Oh my God, that part really pissed me off. We'll get there real quick. His name's Charles Walker.
Charles Walker.
Which, now that I think about it, is really funny that he's crippled and his
last name Walker. I didn't think about that. That is funny.
Yeah, I think the Grace stuff was like the hardest part about this book.
I totally agree.
Like, I loved when she was like a baby and he was like talking about having her in the study, and they were just kind of like hanging out.
Buddies.
Yeah, and it was like really cute. And like during that time, her mom was like not really in her life because she was like sick most of the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that one day where her mom just starts like
snaps,
freaking out and like just being like, hey, stop bothering your dad, like get out of here. Like, ugh.
It was
so sad, dude. And Stoner's just like, what do? He's just like, yeah, I get, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was so sad.
Yeah.
I hated that part. I think that there were lots of times where I felt very frustrated that he didn't stand up to Edith.
I was literally about to say that. Like,
yeah.
For a lot of their relationship, he just suffers in silence. Like, he never says what he wants. He never like says, "Hey, don't treat me this way." Like he just.
I would like a relationship with my daughter.
Yeah, he just deals with it.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hard part for me to read.
Yeah.
I did not love that about him for sure.
Yeah. I think that he handled her being pregnant fairly well.
Yeah.
Not when Edith decided to send her away. Like, obviously you should have fought. I think he should have fought to have them. I mean, I guess it's an old book, but it's like, why get married? First of all,
yeah.
Like, her idea for them to get married like really pissed me off, and then sending her away, I was just like, I just felt like he should have fought to like keep her at home and like, I don't know. But also, it's like,
it's hard.
Their marriage is not a great place to raise another child.
No. And this was during World War One. Like, this was a while. It's just different. It's so different than what it is now. So much of this book wouldn't be the same if it was written in these times.
Yeah.
But, yeah, her relationship was also hard to read.
Her
race, well, not like the
relationship,
guy, but yeah, just the way that transpired in general.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, could you imagine like being brought to this girl you accidentally got pregnant's house to meet like her parents?
No.
And then her mom is just like, you guys are getting married.
You're getting married.
I'd be like, no.
I don't know her.
I'm leaving actually now. Bye. Yeah, crazy.
So wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you feel about Lomax?
I didn't like Lomax.
Yeah, he sucks.
He's the worst.
He was so frustrating, dude.
He drove me a little bit bonkers.
I was just like, you guys are adults.
Yeah, literally.
Why are you feuding
Why are we doing
so hard? Like, you guys are adult coworkers. Just figure it out.
Yeah. Just it just kept bringing to mind the, how people always just say women are so emotional.
Yeah.
But then men have petty feuds at work for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, it's because you don't talk about it. You just keep it inside.
Yeah.
and then you just beef forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's our way, dude. That's how we do it.
Right. That makes total sense.
I'm not going to talk to you about how I feel ever. It was really sad when at Stoner's like going away party, how he like couldn't hear anything that anybody was saying. I was like, bro, oh my god, it's so brutal.
It was so brutal. But why can't I remember his friend's name?
Finch.
Finch. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he the dean at that point? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he was the dean at that
Gordon
point.
Finch. Is
There's
that his
something
name?
in my eye. It's really pissing me off.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But I thought their relationship was one of my favorite parts of the book. I just love.
Yeah, such a real male relationship too. There's like, it never really says that they're like super close, but then at the end when he's dying, it's like talking about he's like, oh, I guess like I realized that like he's like he's one of my best friends in the whole world or whatever. And it was kind of sad how they were brought together by their other friend's death. Dying. Like that was the only thing that really like kept them friends.
Yeah. But like a real that's what I'm saying, like that's a very real human experience.
Sure.
Yeah, like as sad as it is not being able to hear at your own going away party.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more human does it get?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
It's just like, it's so depressing. Like,
yeah.
Especially because it felt like he didn't have much like recognition, especially with Lomax being in charge and like kind of giving him dog shit classes.
Yeah.
Like he never really got the like respect he deserved, I feel like. And then at the end when he finally gets that, which like I'm not saying that like that's necessary. Actually I think that is necessary. Like you should be commended for like doing a good job and like being loyal or whatever. And so the fact that like when he finally gets all of that, he just
doesn't even hear.
Literally like is falling apart and like can't hear anything and like I don't know. It's just sad, dude.
It is so sad.
And then it just makes his speech like it just made it hit so hard where he just like had no words, and he's just like, "Thank you for letting me teach." Like, beautiful, dude. It was so good.
Beautiful, and I don't know. I think that's why I loved it so much, because this is like a man who was supposed to, like, if he was going to do what everyone else in his situation would have done, he should have been working on a farm his whole life.
Yeah.
And so I think it just shows that, like, you can go after the things that you love and the dreams that you have, and it doesn't make your life perfect, and it doesn't make your life pretty or happy, or, you know, like, there'll be glimmers throughout the way, but in general, we're all just kind of human, and the end of human life is generally sad. Like, it's generally not a positive, but that doesn't make the life bad, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even I think there was sad parts. Obviously, he's dying, but like, even as he's dying, he's kind of he kind of like realizes that he's not freaking out and he's not like scared. He's just like, I'm ready.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
I think, I haven't died before, but I'm sure that's probably like
a pretty big deal to be able to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
It was just gives you so much to think about, and so much like appreciation for just like the basicness of being human, I guess.
Yeah.
Just how normal life is and how that's still special. I guess that was my takeaway from this.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I was going to say something about chasing your dreams.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember what I was going to say. I think I was just going to say that, like, it doesn't matter what you do, like, everything is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a part of life.
Right.
But I think that it's more important to, like, be fulfilled than, like, to find, like, to be happy. You know what I mean?
Yes, I totally. Like, the one thing that he consistently had was his love of literature and his ability to share that with people.
And it talks about after the war, the second war in the book, when everybody's coming back, and he's like, the students like are here to learn, like everybody's here to learn, and he talks about it's like the busiest time he's ever had, and he's working so hard, and it was his favorite time. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it probably was really hard, like you were working a ton, but like just being like feeling fulfilled.
You know what loving what you're doing with your life. Yeah. So cool. And I think the other thing about this is that you can genuinely tell that the author loves literature. Like, loves books, loves reading. I love when I read a book and I can just tell like that we are kindred spirits in this, like, I don't know.
I feel.
Anyway.
Banger, dude.
I loved this book.
Me too.
And
it'll probably be one that I reread every now and again.
I totally agree, especially because it's so small.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll reread it soon. I listened to it.
Nice.
I actually really liked the narrator for this book. I thought it was really good. But I think if I reread it, I want to do the physical.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's so good.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Stuffy mixed stuff.
Hey.
Sorry.
I can't help it.
This has been like kind of a somber episode because of the book and because you're stuffy, so you're kind of quiet.
So quiet.
So it's like kind of like, no, it's fine. I just did observation. Like, usually I'm way more off the handle. You know?
It's hard to be off the handle with this book.
Yeah, true.
This one's not a silly, goofy one.
It's not at all.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't read it.
No, you 100% should read it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
See ya.